Take 776. Go. Hi guys, my name is Ashley File and I'm currently a student here at Kean University. I'm actually here today to inform you guys on some of the many benefits of investing now and some of the ways in which you can invest your money. Now before I begin, I would just like to say thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoy it, and I really hope you can at least take one or two things from this speech, even if it's not towards investing, but towards a future goal, or invest in yourself. Now, I can remember as a little girl always growing up and hearing about how successful my grandparents were and how many places my mom was able to go to and how many things they were able to see and vacations they were able to go on. Now, my grandparents had been able to own and open their own embroidery company, and at that time, it was a great company to start. They were also very good with investing. So at the age of 5, when my grandmother unfortunately passed away, she was able to leave her grandkids a lump sum of money each. Now, my lump sum of money personally was turned over to my uncle, in which another turn he put into a money market. Now, that money sat in that money market until I was 18 years old. So from the age of 5 to 18, I had no idea what was going on with it. He probably followed up on it a little bit, but it sat there in the money market and just stayed. It fluctuated, it went up and down, and eventually it grew a little bit. When I was 18, I actually eventually received a check, and it was at that time that I had been very interested in investing. So I did my research, I looked into it, and now for the last 4 years, I'm 25, so I started when I was 21, but for the last 4 years, I've actually been investing myself in the US stock market. I've also been investing for the last 6 months in the foreign exchange market, and I've also been looking into investing in real estate, which is all different types of things like buying and flipping a home and then selling it, or being a partial investor on a home and renting it. All of these different things I've actually been looking into recently because of how interested in investing I am. Now, you guys might be thinking, well, why should I invest? Or what is it going to do for me? Or I don't really want to take the risk. I'm okay with trading my time for money. But what I should tell you is right now, you have so many benefits of investing. You have the time to invest. You have your long-term goals that you need to invest in. And there's so many different avenues of investing out there for you to invest in. So there's many different options for each and every one of you, whether it fits you or it doesn't. There's different options. According to the man, the myth, and the investing legend, Warren Buffett, he quotes famously about making passive income, but one of his quotes really stuck out to me. It is, "If you do not find a way to make money in your sleep, you will work until the day that you die." Now, I don't necessarily believe that you will work until the day you die. However, he makes a valid point about finding a different avenue of passive income, that you're not trading your money for your time, or your time for your money. You're trading your money for your money. Now, that brings me to my first point. Right now, you have all of the time in the world, and you will never have more time than you have now. You have plenty of time right now to do the research, to learn, to grow, to make mistakes. You can't make certain mistakes in investing at the age of 65 because you could really financially hurt yourself. But say you take a risky investment now, it could go really, really well for you and help you in the future, and it could go really bad for you. But if you took it now, you could still recover from it. Another thing with time is it gives you more time to grow and compound your money. Compounding your money, all that means is your interest makes more interest. Now, one of my favorite famous investors who invests in the Forex market, his name is Manny Quinones. He always talks about doing a 5% 5% compound interest plan, which just means simply that, say, if you start with $100, your plan is to make either 5% during that day or 5% weekly, depending on what you want to do specifically or what your financial goals are. So Manny Canoas says that if you start with $100 and you make 5% of that $100 each day, the first day you'll make $5. The second day you'll make $5.25. So now you're at $10.25. And then the third day you'll make $5.50. So now you're at $115 in 3 days opposed to being at just $100. Now, with compounding your interest, that brings me to long-term goals. Long-term goals. If you think about your long-term goals, where you want to be in 5 years, where you want to be in 10 years, where you want to be in 20, 30, 40 years. I hope we are all retired, but if we're not, where do you want to be? In 5 years, do you want to buy a house? Do you want to travel? Do you want to have kids? Do you want to start planning for retirement? I don't know if many of you know this, but according to this article by the CRBF.org, it's the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, there's a potential for the Social Security to run out by 2035. That would make me 40 years old, and I'm 25 years old right now. So in not even 15 years, this Social Security that we would be potentially getting could run out. So this is why it's a good thing now to start thinking about investing in your retirement, because you might not get it from our government anymore at that point. Now, to get to these things, to get to these goals, you should look into the different types of investing. There's things like stocks, which you can purchase a piece of a company. There's mutual funds, which it groups together different pieces of companies, and if one stock does bad within it and the rest do good, you're still doing good. So that's a really safe investment. There's bonds, where you loan your money to a bank and then you wait until that bond matures, then you gain interest on it. There's the Forex market. Now, the Forex market is just trading currencies against each other. So say you have, how much is this? 20 baht, $1 US. The US dollar is actually worth more baht, but we won't get into that. When you go to a different country, you exchange, so say we're going to Thailand, you would exchange your US dollars, say you have 50 US dollars, and in turn you'd get a certain amount of baht back, typically more just because our dollar is stronger than their baht. So it's the same thing with the Forex market. You buy and sell currencies based upon their strength and how they're doing against the other currencies. If you buy or sell in the right direction, you make money. There's also things like indices and futures to invest in, which those two specifically are very high risk and very high reward. So you can make $20 in a matter of seconds, or you could lose $20 in a matter of seconds. Another great way to invest your money is real estate. I was actually looking into real estate, like I mentioned earlier, and there's so many different things and avenues in which you can do with it. But I would like to talk to you guys about one in particular, which is called the BRRRR approach, which is buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. Meaning you buy something cheap, you rehab it, you rent it out for a little bit, you refinance it to get more money back, and then you repeat the process. And in turn, all you're doing is creating passive income for yourself. Guys, the benefits of investing are simple. You have to have the time to make mistakes, and you have the time now to invest in these mistakes and invest in building compound interest. You have the time to set up for long-term goals, set your family up for long-term goals, and set your kids' futures up for long-term goals. You have the time to set yourself up for success in your future, as well as having numerous avenues of ways to invest in your future. Now, what I didn't tell you guys earlier is that the money that my uncle had invested for me, when I got that check back, I didn't realize this at the time and how great it was. Well, I did when I saw the money, but my money grew 80% in 13 years. As I mentioned before, you're lucky if you get 1% out of a bank. My money grew 80% in 13 years, meaning that if I had $10,000, that means my money grew to $18,000 in that amount of time. My money grew while I was sleeping. So just like Warren Buffett says, that's a great way to make money. I would like to conclude this by saying one more thing. If you guys are shy on investing or whatever it might be, To invest successfully over a lifetime does not require stratospheric IQ, unusual business insights, or inside information. What's needed is a sound intellectual framework for making decisions and the ability to keep emotions from corroding that framework. Thank you guys. Have a good night.